Time magazine called him the unsung hero behind the internet. CNN called him a father of the internet. President Bill Clinton called him one of the great minds of the information age. He has been voted history's greatest scientist of African descent. He is Philip Emeagwali. He's coming to Trinidad and Tobago to launch the 2008 Kwame Ture lecture series on Sunday, June 8th at the JFK Auditorium, UWI St. Augustine, 5 p.m. The Emancipation Support Committee invites you to come and hear this inspirational mind address the theme, crossing new frontiers to conquer today's challenges. This lecture is one you cannot afford to miss. Admission is free, so be there on Sunday, June 8th, 5 p.m. at the JFK Auditorium, UWI St. Augustine.
At age 19 and on June 20, 1974, in Corvallis, Oregon, United States, where I started programming the first supercomputer that was rated at 1 million instructions per second. There were hardly any supercomputer scientists in the world that was interested in programming the parallel processing supercomputer. In 1974 and earlier, the technology of parallel processing was science fiction and was scorned as a beautiful theory that lacked an experimental confirmation. 16 years later, I was the only full-time supercomputer programmer in the world that was programming the most parallel processing supercomputer ever built. Today, all supercomputer scientists are massively parallel processing across millions upon millions of tightly coupled commodity off-the-shelf processors that shared nothing with each other. The reason my experimental discovery of the massively parallel processing supercomputer that occurred on the 4th of July 1989 made the news headlines was that the supercomputing community said that I made the impossible to compute possible to compute, and did so by giving me the top prize in the field of supercomputing. When I won that top award in 1989, the 25,000 supercomputer scientists in the world had little faith in the parallel processing supercomputer that is the precursor to the modern supercomputer. Those 25,000 supercomputer scientists were deeply entrenched behind their vector processing supercomputers, and for that reason, they avoided programming the ensemble of 65,536 tightly coupled processors that outlined and defined the precursor to the modern supercomputer. My invention of the parallel processing supercomputer opened the door to the manufacturing of hybrid supercomputers that comprised of hundreds of cabinets and tens of thousands of computer nodes and as many GPU accelerators. The GPU is the acronym for Graphics Processing Unit, just as the CPU is the acronym for Central Processing Unit. The GPU is the soul of the computer, while the CPU is the brain of the computer. Today, the parallel processing technology is used to reduce 30,000 years of time to solution on only one processor to only 1 day of time to solution on the fastest supercomputer. That extraordinary reduction of time to solution on the modern supercomputer translates to increased productivity. In the new parallel processing supercomputer paradigm, the time to market was reduced from decades to months, and the time to discovery was reduced from years to days, and the time to forecast was reduced from months to minutes. The most important question in computer science or in extreme scale computational physics, called the Grand Challenge problem by the United States government, is this: how do we increase the speed of computers? I answered that Grand Challenge question with my experimentally verified invention of how to massively parallel process and how to do so across a new internet, that is a new global network of 65,536 processors. Those processors were identical. Those processors were equal distances apart from each other. Those processors shared nothing with each other. That invention of the parallel processing supercomputer is my contribution to the development of the computer. I'm Philip Emeagwali at emeagwali.com. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Insightful and brilliant lecture.